In this lesson, we're going to go over creating an account on Charity Auctions Today, and then also going through their auction setup wizard so we can get your first auction launched and ready to start adding items as quickly as possible. So why don't we go ahead and get started, and we'll pick it up on the Charity Auctions Today website. So as part of this tutorial, we are going to be using Charity Auctions Today. So from charityauctionstoday.com, you can go ahead and create a free auction, which is one of the great things about using Charity Auctions Today. It doesn't cost anything to get started. You don't even have to talk to any salespeople or sign contracts. So we love using Charity Auctions Today. So from their website, you can go ahead and click on any of the set up a free auction now or sign up for free buttons that are spread out throughout their website. When you land on their registration form, it's going to ask you to fill in some personal information. So you're going to want to put in your full name. So this is your first name and your last name. You're going to choose a username, which is what is going to be displayed publicly when you actually place some bids or place some test bids. You can use the same account that you're creating your auction through to also place bids on your auction or really any other auction on the Charity Auctions Today website. You'll put in your email address, you'll create a password, and then your phone number. This will be used for any outbid text notifications. So if you are using this as your bidder account also, you will receive outbid text notifications here. If you ever need to opt out of messages, you can go ahead and click no, and that will opt you out of their text messaging service. You'll choose your country, and then you'll go ahead and enter in the security or the anti-spam unique numbers and letters here, and then once you're done, you'll hit agree to the terms and conditions and then hit the create my account button. Once you hit the create my auction button, it'll bring you to a thank you page. Thank you for registering on Charity Auctions Today. They will send you an email with a confirmation link. This is just to make sure that the email addresses that you do add into the system are not fake. They try to make sure that nobody's going to create fake accounts, run up some bidding with no intention on bidding for items. So go ahead and we're going to jump over to my email account right now and click on the link. As you can see, we did receive the confirmation email. So from here, we're going to go ahead and just click on this. Click here to confirm, verify my account. Once we click on that link, it's going to bring us right into the auction setup wizard. And from here, we can actually start creating our auction. And as you can see from this auction setup wizard, it's only 3 steps to actually create your auction. So this first step is all about creating the basic information for your auction. So we're going to start with an auction name, and I'm just going to name it Test Auction. And as you can see in our URL, it's actually going to create our URL on the fly as you're typing in the name. But if you do want to shorten the URL, that you don't want the exact same thing as your auction name, you can go ahead and start to shrink the name if you want or customize it. We're going to go ahead and choose our time zone, which will be Central Time. Our time blocks. So time blocks are a great way to stagger starting and ending times for groups of items if you wanted to. This is mostly suggested if you're going to have hundreds of items and you want some items to close earlier than others. So you have a great flexibility to be able to do that with different time blocks. So we're going to go ahead and create a time block 1. When choosing your starting time, you just click on the field. It'll pull up a little calendar picker, so you'll go ahead and pick the date that you want it to start on. Now, if you're starting it in another month, just go ahead and click the front arrow to move to the next month. But we're going to go ahead and start this on the 11th. The next step will be to pick your starting hour. So you'll see AM and PM, so we're going to go ahead and start it at 1 p.m. And then the next step, third step to selecting your time would be the minutes. So we're going to go ahead and start at 1 p.m. And we're going to do the same thing with the end time. You want to make sure your end times are in the future and not in the past of your starting time. So you can't put in May 9th into the box. It won't take it. So we're going to go ahead and just say the 31st at 1 p.m. also. The item status, this is where you can choose to either display or hide your items before the start time arrives. So if you're not starting if your start time doesn't start for a couple days, you can hide your items from displaying on your auction page until your start time arrives. We don't usually suggest this because this being able to view your items beforehand is a great way for you to be able to test, see how everything's going to look to your bidders. So no one's going to see your auction until you actually start sending out your link. So we always suggest to leave this at yes, and then that way you'll be able to see exactly what your bidders will see before you launch your auction to the world. The privacy settings, there's public or private. Private just means only the people that are going to receive your link or maybe find it through your social media channels are going to be able to come in and bid on your items. Public means Charity Auctions Today will list it to their bidder pool and display it on their website and share your items through their social media channels. And then that way, they'll just kind of gain some more exposure, but just be prepared that if you do open it to the public, more than likely you'll probably have to ship the items. So if you're not willing to ship your items, I would definitely leave your auction private so that only maybe the people in your area or your town, who receive your link will be able to come in and bid on your items. The currency setting, by default, it's United States dollar. So if you want to change that, you can just hit this edit link. And these are the current currencies that we do have built into our system. So you can go ahead and choose any of the other currencies and then just hit save, and that will update it in our system. Once this page is finished, we'll go ahead next step. And now we're going to come into some of the settings for our auction. So we'll kind of go through this one at a time. So the listing type, you have the choice between online auction or view only. Online auction is going to be if you're running your online auction or a mobile auction, this is going to be the listing type you choose. If you're going to be running or you want to list some items as kind of like an online catalog, but you don't want bidding on those items, you just want people to be able to preview them, you can go ahead and choose view only. This will allow you to create the item, but there won't be any bid buttons on this item. So this is great if you're going to have a live silent auction or maybe an auctioneer at a live event that's going to be auctioning off some high ticket items. You want to list those as view only, and then that way you can, your bidders can see some of your items that are going to be available at the live auction. The bidding options, we have straight or auto bid. Straight bid just means whatever the bid amount that person puts in, that's going to be the bid. Auto bid means they can put in their max bid, and then our system will bid on their behalf up until their max bid is reached. So this is also known as maybe proxy bidding, if you've ever heard that term maybe on eBay. Buy it now invoice. So this is going to be kind of another live auction feature. If you're going to be hosting a live event or a gala, you do have the option if you want any items that you add a buy it now price. If someone uses that, if you do buy it now invoice, they will just add the item to their final invoice that they'll pay at the end of the night. If you turn this off, it just forces the person to purchase that item with their credit card and make a payment at the time that they hit the buy now button. So that's what's recommended. We usually only recommend doing the buy it now invoiced if they're going to be if you're going to be hosting a live event in a gala where people are going to be on site doing mobile bidding at that event. Display item images on mobile. We suggest saying yes to this. If for some reason you're hosting a live mobile auction and maybe everybody's connected to the Wi-Fi and that Wi-Fi starts to really slow down, this is where you can kind of turn off the images on your mobile site to maybe speed things up. But you don't really see that very often. Most people can get by with just using the cell towers without any problems at your live mobile event. If you're running just strictly an online auction, then you don't really have to worry about this. I just suggest keeping it as yes. The next two options are going to be for live auctions as well. So if you want to auto-assign catalog numbers, you can have the Charity Auctions Today system do that for you. With strictly an online silent auction, you don't need to necessarily have catalog numbers unless you want to use it for tracking purposes. But catalog numbers are not required, but you do have the ability to just have our system auto-assign those, or you can choose to not have them or put in your own catalog numbers as you add items. And then auto-assign bidder numbers, again, for a live auction, maybe in a mobile auction or a live silent auction with bid sheets. You do have the ability to have our system auto-assign bidder numbers for everybody that registers for your event. For an online auction, it's not necessary, so you can definitely turn this off or just leave it on. It won't affect your event. And then the last option is pickup available. So if you are adding a shipping price to each item, you do have the ability to put in an address here, and then when your winning bidders are going to pay for those items, they will have the ability to opt out of the shipping cost, so that you would just put in the address, and if they live in your area, they can come pick up those items and opt out of paying the shipping amount. And then anybody that is out of state that wants the shipping amount would be added to their final invoice. So we're going to go ahead and hit next step. And that's it. So the auction has been successfully configured and created. All you have to do from here is go ahead and we're going to click on the Save and Continue button. And this is going to bring us right into the auction dashboard. And our auction's created. And now in our next video, I'll go through the auction dashboard, a lot of the settings, and kind of show you around from there. So I'll pick it up and see you in the next video.